Next up is Jason. I was struck by one of the bullet points that Saeed made in his presentation earlier this morning, where there was a bullet point that said Todd Park estimates location-sensitive apps will generate $90 billion worth of value annually. So I'm very interested to hear more from Jason about Journal Map, which is a great illustration of one of the next big trends. We've always got big trends in this industry, as we know, location-aware publishing and services.
Okay, great. So finding what we're looking for has become pretty easy in life. When I come to someplace new like London, I just have to pick up my phone and ask Siri or Google where a coffee shop is. And I get a map of all the coffee shops nearby and directions to each one. And so with just my phone, I can find almost any knowledge or any coffee shop in the world on a map in a matter of seconds. So why can't we do the same thing for scientific literature? That was the basic question that drove us to create Journal Map. Maps are a powerful way to tell stories, and they've long been a crucial part of the scientific publishing. They inform us about and show us relationships between things better than words alone can. Journal Map extends this idea by plotting on a map where the research was done. It's sort of like GPS for research discovery. Journal Map is a free web-based search platform for finding scientific literature. Articles are mapped to their locations, and users can use filters to narrow the results. It's important to note here that we're mapping the actual article study locations and not the author affiliations. With Journal Map, I can quickly find articles on a topic that match my needs, visualize the geographic extent of those, take a quick description of the article, and then eventually link out straight to the publisher's website for the full content. So here's a topical search that I did for sage grouse. It's a bird species in the US that's been proposed as listed as threatened. This search gave us a map of almost 300 results, but we can also get a list of those results and download that list in a number of different formats. We also have the ability to create collections of articles or geo-referenced bibliographies with static URLs that we can distribute, like this example for some of my papers. But there's a lot more to Journal Map than just mapping articles. There's real analytic potential in this. Take our sage grouse example. With a comprehensive map of where the research was done, we can identify knowledge hotspots and cold spots. And this kind of information could be really useful for conservation planning or research for that species. But for knowledge to be transferable, it needs to have come from someplace with a similar context. And with Journal Map, we can define environmental similarity based on things like soils and climate in order to find relevant knowledge from the hot spots and apply it to those knowledge cold spots for things like sustainable agriculture. And what about comparing the distribution of studies from entire journals to look for knowledge differences in distribution or bias? Like this example for two journals that have very similar scope but a pretty different geographic distribution. Now, initially with Journal Map, we focused on land sciences of ecology and sustainable agriculture, but since then we've made natural extensions to other fields, but the Journal Map concept is extensible to any field where geography is important. So think, for example, of infectious disease. We can look at how the knowledge of disease spreads over time relative to other events, like in this case, the spread of West Nile virus in the United States. We can see how the knowledge of the disease tracked the spread of the disease itself over time. We get articles into Journal Map in several different ways, including the ability to read industry standard XML formats from publishers. Data refinement and approval are done directly on the website before any of the records go live on Journal Map. The location information comes straight from the study area descriptions in the articles. We use algorithms to parse for coordinates in the text to assign latitude and longitudes. We also do semi-automated place name geoparsing and in some cases manual geotagging of the articles. So our vision for Journal Map is not modest. We know it's going to take a lot of work, and we know that we're going to have to work with those in the publishing industry in order to realize these points and make that happen. Right now, we're developing standards and best practices for actually polling these locations and reporting them. We're working with Taylor and Francis on geotagging journal archives and developing a suite of geotagging tools and services for publishers. But we're also open to any additional collaborations in our effort. Journal Map is a new tool for researchers to augment scientific knowledge discovery. And we're here today to talk about Journal Map to anybody who's interested on how we can leverage location information that's locked inside publications now for new possibilities for knowledge discovery and application. Thanks.